It was a
Listen, my
cold
children,
winter
listen
night,
well, for the
and the
night is
snow
long,
fell
but wisdom
softly
is longer. The
outside,
fire before
covering
us
the
is
world in
hot,
a blanket
but
of
truth
white.
burns. Hotter you are here, not only to warm your hands, but to warm your spirit. You see, in this life, many people walk around with heavy shadows. They carry their issues like hunters carry dead animals, complaining, constantly tired. But what if I told you this truth? The one who gazes at the thorn all his life will never know the rose. Yes, my children, issues are thorns. If you look only at the thorn, you will bleed. Solutions are roses. If you pursue them out, you will heal, you will grow, and you will smell the sweetness of life. Let me tell you a story of a boy named Kofi, a boy who lived in the desert. When even the gods seemed to have forgotten the people, it was the season. When clouds disappeared, the sky was blue like a K, knife sharp and cruel. The cattle groaned, ribs sticking out under their skin. The children took calabashes to the wells, but returned with them half empty. The earth cracked like the mouth of a dying man. The elders gathered and shook their heads. The gods are angry, they announced. The women cried, our children will die. The men cursed the sky, cursed the government, cursed their luck every night. The village was a chorus of weeping, but weeping cannot give rain. Kofi was little, only 12 reigns old, but his eyes were keen like a hawk's. When other individuals sat in sorrow, Kofi remembered what his grandpa used to say: when the cow gets lost, do not cry for the whole day, tie your rope and search the bush for the cow will not trot back by your crying. Kofi decided he would not wait for the sky. He walked past the village, far from the dried maize fields, far from the thorn trees where the goats did not graze anymore. He looked at the ground, he listened to the ants. Yes, the ants, for where ants carry their food deepest, there is water below. He noticed where the grass was greener, where roots stretched longer. And there Kofi began to dig. The sun burned his back, his hands blistered. The soil was hard, cracked, cruel. The villagers laughed. See that foolish boy, they said. Does he think he is more powerful than the sky does? He think his hands can replace the rain? They mocked him as he dug. But Kofi said nothing. If the sky forgets us, then we must remember the earth. Day after day he dug, the sun shone, and he dug, the sun set, and he dug, the moon looked on, and still he dug. On the 7th morning at dawn, and the hyena's laughter muffled to silence, caught a sound quiet, hidden but real. Drip, drip, drip. He looked down, and there it was, water. The earth, though stubborn, had finally yielded. By the 10th morning, a small well sprouted where previously dust lay. Kofi cupped hands, raised water to his lips, and drank cool, sweet, alive. He filled a calabash and brought it to the village. When Kofi arrived, silence fell. The women stopped wailing. The men laid down their sticks. The elders opened their eyes wide. And then people, we pity, not out of sorrow, but out of relief. The old women greeted his forehead, the young men bowed their heads, and from then on they no more mistreated the sky. They picked up their hoes, their hands, their hearts, and dug. Shortly the village had no longer a well, but wells. The cattle drank, the children laughed, and life started coming back to the desert. Now, my children, recall this lesson: troubles are like the desert sun. If you stare at it for too long, it blinds you, but solutions are like the unseen well. They do not show themselves to the complainers who sit and bemoan. They only reveal themselves to those who dig. The water was always there beneath their feet. But the individuals were too engrossed in blaming the sky to look to the ground. I want to tell you one more story. The story of Oba, the young hunter, who defied the lion. For every man at some time in his life must meet his lion. Sometimes the lion is fear, sometimes the lion is failure, sometimes the lion is the voice inside that reminds you that you cannot. But lions do not bow to protests. Lions bow only to courage and concentration. Many years ago, in the land of red earth and tall grasses, there was the village of Ober cattle were being stolen overnight. The women talked of eyes that glowed at the edge of firelight. The children stopped playing near the river because they had seen the prince the size of drums. It was the lion, the great mane-shaking beast who walked without fear. The people grew uneasy. The Elster called upon the hunters, "Who of you will face the lion?" The hunters looked at the ground. Their bows looked insignificant, their spears too thin. Then stepped forward. "Ober, just 17 reigns old. I will go," he said. The people breathed in shock. "Child, you will be killed. The lion is too strong." But Ober replied, "A hunter does not measure the lion. Me, assures his aim that evening." Ober marched into the high grass, his spear held tight. The moon was lean, the wind chill. Every creak of the grass spoke danger. Fear crept into his chest. His heart pounded like a drum. During a storm, his mouth felt dry. He believed the lion is more powerful than me. His teeth are sharp. But his roar will shatter me. And the more he thought of the lion, the weaker his legs felt. He wanted to go back. He wanted to flee, but then Ober remembered what his father said. When you chase two animals simultaneously, you will catch none. If you chase fear, fear will consume you. If you chase victory, victory will consume along with you. Ober closed his eyes. He pushed his mind from the lion's teeth. From the lion's roar, he considered one thing: the opening beneath the lion's neck, just above the chest. That was the only area the spear could strike the heart. He talked softly to himself. "Do not view the lion, view the target. Only the target." The lion appeared. Its mane radiated. Like fire, its roar reverberated against the trees. Ober's hands trembled, but his eyes never left the spot. Not the teeth, not the claws, not the roar. Just the spot. The lion charged, the ground trembled. But Ober moved forward rather than retreating. With a scream, he drove the spear straight where his eyes had found, lodging the spear. Lodged in the lion, stumbled, fell, and the ground was still when Ober returned. Pull. In the body of the lion behind him, the village was full of cheer drums. Were rolled women, sang the elders, lifted his hand high, and declared, "Ober has taught us, the man who gazes at the lion's teeth will perish from fear. But the man who gazes at the lion's weakness will live in honor. Now my children know this. Because you live, Ober did not whip the lion because he was strong. He whipped the lion because he saw the solution, not the problem. The problem was the lion's roar, the lion's teeth, the lion's strength. The solution was that one little spot below the chest. When you only look at the size of your problems, you are stymied. But when you see the one move, the one step, the one opportunity, you win. The fires burn smaller. Now, but the elder's voice was stronger. The night birds wailed in the distance, and the children inched closer for his eyes promised them another. Tale was coming. Listen to my children. Life is not always lion in the long grass nor desert drought. Sometimes life is the things that people consider useless, the things that people describe as broken, the things that people laugh and cast aside. Listen to me. The market woman and her broken pot. Nana was old. Her back bent from decades of walking. Her feet were fissured from decades of carrying loads to market. Each morning she rose before the dawn, selected 2 clay jars onto a shoulder pole, set the balance on her shoulders, and trudged the dusty road to fetch water. One jar was perfect, hard, smooth, and proud. The other was cracked, a thin line running down its side. Nana went to the river daily, filled the 2 pots with water, and returned back home. But when she arrived, the broken pot lost half of the water, dripping along the way. The perfect pot mocked it daily. "Behold, how useless you are," it said. "You cannot even hold what you are given. You squander your gift, you shall." Me, the woman who gave birth to you. The broken pot bowed its head. It felt broken. It felt guilty. It said to Nana, "Forgive me, mother, for I am breakable. I cannot be of service to you. Like my brother, I spill what you give me, and I am nothing but trouble." But Nana smiled. Rather than she spoke, "Child, do you think I have not noticed your cracks? Do you think I have not seen the water spilling from your side? Come tomorrow with me, and I will teach you something." The next morning, Nana once more picked up the pole, the perfect pot on one side, broken pot on the other. She walked the same way, filled the same water, but this time she told the broken pot to take a good look as they returned. And what did the pot see? Flowers bright and tall on the way, yellow blossoms, red blossoms, purple blossom. Yes. Twirling in the wind, the cracked pot gasped. "Where did these grow?" Nana smiled. "I planted seeds on your side of the way, knowing every day you would give them water without fail. The perfect pot gave water to the house, but you gave flowers to the soul." The shattered pot was silent. Then it began weeping, but the tears were not of shamefulness this time, but of joy, because it had found that what the world considers weakness can be translated into a gift once perceived through the wisdom eyes. My children, do you hear this truth? Many of you think that you are broken, many of you think that you are worthless because of your cracks. But listen, a crack in the pot is not the end, it is the beginning. If you carry your crack patiently, it may water a garden that you never knew. Was there? The village children asked the old grandfather. Does that mean our defects can become blessings? The old man replied, yes, defects are like rivers, they can flood and destroy or irrigate the plains. Depending on how you direct them, remember these maxims and keep them in your heart. The scarred axe still cuts the tree, the scarred drum still sounds the perforated calabash still contains grain. What the world calls a blemish, the wise man calls an implement. So when you are fractured, when you are little, when folks make fun of your breaks, remember Nana and her pot and tell yourself kindly, I am still a vessel. I am still of use, my breaks are not hexes. Their secret blessings, the fire spat more, the stars. Curved in the elder's eyes glowed with a hidden light. He mentioned you have heard about Kofi, who dug water from the earth, Oba, who struck the lion with focus, and Nana, who turned a broken pot into a trail of flowers. But the night is not yet finished, for there is one more tale in store, a tale of two towns, a river, and a choice. One town saw a curse, the other saw a bridge. Do you want to hear it? The people murmured. Yes, tell us, elder, tell us. And the elder raised his hand and said, then have your minds ready, for the river is wide, and it welcomes those who grumble, or those who build the fire. Was now dying embers, reddish glow in the black earth. But not the elder's voice, it had not broken it. It was strong, like the rhythm of his drum carrying on truth under the night's cover. He leaned forward, the sparks lit his face, and he began, listen to children, for the last story is close. It is the story of two villages, one river, and a choice that set their fate long ago. In the land of rolling hills and dark forests, there ran a river wide and unruly. It roared with foam, it splashed over stones, it carried logs like children. And toys, this river separated two villages. The people on one bank looked across longingly. They saw the other side rich, with fields teeming with game, shining with fruits. But they sighed, woe, this river is a curse. The gods have abandoned us. On this side it is too deep, too strong, too dangerous. So they sat and complained. They built no boats. They came up with no plan. They said, if the gods wanted us to get across, they would have made a way, and so they grew bitter. They warned their children, never dream past the river, for it cannot be done. But on the other side of the same river, another village looked across. They too saw the wealth. They too heard the rumble. They too felt the fear. But their elder said, listen, my children, the river is not a curse, but a test. Water can drown you, or it can take you. It is what you build. So the people chopped down trees, they shaped logs, they lashed vines, they worked day after day as others mocked them, saying, you will die, you will waste your strength. But the builders did not give up, and now they had built a bridge, not perfect, not straight, but strong enough to carry them. One at a time they crossed, and with every crossing they grew bolder. They carried grain, they carried tools, they carried hope. And before long, trade. With fresh areas, hunted in new forests, sowed in new land. They thrived not just in material things, but in courage as much. As the complaining village had weakened year by year, their children looked at the river, and all they felt was terror, until one day they saw smoke coming up on the other side of the water. They saw laughter. They saw abundance, and they asked why we are left behind. And why was that? Clear, they had looked at the river for so long that they had forgotten to build the bridge. Now, my children, do you understand the lesson? The problem is the river. The solution is the bridge. The river doesn't mind your tears. The river doesn't get smaller because of your complaints. But once you build the bridge, the river becomes your servant. It bears trade, it bears food, it bears stories. So keep this truth in mind. A problem will always be a problem until you decide it is raw material for a solution. A flood can be a curse, or it can turn the E.T. Miller stone can be a burden, or it can be a step. It is what you do with it. The old, with his eyes wandered the ring, he went on. Now you have learned 4 tales. The boy who excavated the well, the hunter who slaughtered the lion, the woman who balanced the broken pot, and the villages separated by the river. What do they show you? They show you that difficulties will be present, like the sun, like the wind, like the darkness, but your attention is the fire within you. If you nurture your fear, it will consume you. If you nurture your concentration, it will lead you. Imbue yourselves with these sayings, my children. The river that dams up the lazy makes the brave stronger. The broken pot that leaks can still water the garden. The lion that ours cannot touch the hunter who sees its vulnerability. The desert that parches the mouth still has a well hiding beneath its skin. And now, my children, the fire is low, but your spirit is high. Take these stories into your days, tell them to your children, tell them to your friends when life brings you drought. Dig when life brings you lion's focus, when life brings you cracks plant, when life brings this. You rivers build for the gods may cause you distress, but already they have blessed you with solutions encoded within the elder's voice, subdued the drums in the distance that were picked up again, the stars in the sky twinkled like wise eyes, the children sat in silence their hearts. Full their minds rejuvenated, the elder rose slowly, and in a whisper uttered the last words: focus on solutions instead of problems, because your focus becomes your destiny.